So I am actually getting ready to put all of these yummy ingredients into the crock pot to make an enchilada sauce. I don't really have a recipe. I just kind of throw everything in together and I taste it as it cooks and add more of this and more of that if it needs it. But I have, my tomato powder, which I may or may not add if I add any more distilled water. I'm going to start with a vegetable stock just because that's what I had in that kind of container. You could use chicken or beef, or, whatever, really. I got my rest of my can of chipotle chilies that I used the other day for the chicken. This is an onion fresh from my garden. Again, if I think it needs more, I'll go pick another one and I'll throw it in. While this is cooking, once everything gets nice and soft, like the onions and all that, then I'll hit it with my immersion blender and get it real smooth. I'm not going to strain it or anything. You can if you want, but I don't really feel like there's a need to do that. So what I'm going to do is just dump these ingredients in the crock pot and get it going. And then I plan to use a little bit of it tonight to make enchiladas, and then I'll can up what's left because I plan on making a whole crock pot worth. So whether that means I need to add some more water and tomato powder, whatever the case is, I'm going to make a whole bunch so I can can some up. So anyway, that's my task for my lunch break. Just throw this all in the crock pot and let it get going. Here is everything in the crock pot. I did add a bunch more water. So what I ended up doing was just filling water till, this vegetable stock. Then I filled it with water up to this point. And then because I did add all that water, I added some more tomato paste, some tomato powder, and then I did put a little bit of Better Than Bouillon, the beef flavor, just to give it a little depth of flavor. And then I just put like a handful of Mexican oregano. I did get another onion and put it in here. About 3 of the chipotles in adobo. I put a bunch of cumin, chipotle chili pepper, and then I put a dump of garlic, the freeze-dried garlic in here. And then, I said the handful of oregano, some pink salt because I will can this. I don't want to use table salt. And then I put a couple scoops of tomato powder and a little bit of vinegar to give it that little tangy taste. So yeah, I'm just going to keep this going until later when everything gets nice and soft, and then I'll blend it up with my little stick blender that I stick in here. Oh, look at that. I got it all over my hands. Wonderful. I am not going to use a thickener to thicken this until I go to use it because I want to can it, and you can't can like flour or anything or cornstarch. So I'm going to go ahead and just not put anything. And then if it needs to be thickened before I use it, I can use like a cornstarch slurry and pour it in there, and while it's getting warm, it'll thicken before I use it. So that's how I'm going to do it. But I'm just going to let this stuff cook, add more stuff if I need to, and just until I like the taste of it. So I'll probably do the video on canning it, of course. Why the hell not? I'm already doing it. It's kind of fun to film, so that's it for now. So here we are, about 3.5 hours after I put the ingredients in the crock pot. I did add a couple little things, just like anything I make, or I'm sure a lot of people make without a recipe. You just kind of add a little this, add a little that. But I did end up adding the rest of that tomato paste. I just felt like it was a little watery tasting. So I did add the rest of that. I added a little brown sugar. I thought it needed a bit of sweetness, and I added some more garlic, some more Mexican oregano, salt, chili powder, just a little of this, a little of that, but I didn't add anything new other than a little bit of brown sugar, just because I felt like it needed a tad of sweetness. And I just tried it, and it tastes absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I have a tendency sometimes when something tastes good, I just go and mess it all up by adding more. So I'm gonna leave it alone and let it cook, let it get all its flavor and then I'll blend it down with the immersion blender and just, let it keep simmering for a while. So that is where we're at right now, about 3.5 hours later. Looks so good, and it tastes really good. Nice and spicy, but not too overwhelming. If I would have used like a whole can of chipotles, I think that would have been a little too much for me. I do like spicy. I just like to taste the flavor more than I like my mouth burning. So this is just like the perfect amount of mouth burning, I guess you could say. Not too overwhelming. So here's where we're at now, 3.5 hours later. So I went ahead and hit the enchilada sauce with the immersion blender, and it's nice and smooth. Some of the pieces were just like a little too small, apparently, to get it, like some of the spices and the garlic. So you can still see parts of that, but overall it's nice and smooth, and it thickened up with cooking, and with being everything blended down, the larger ingredients like the onions and the peppers. It tastes so good. It's been just about 6 hours, so it is coming along. My husband's running late from work, coming home. So I'm not sure if we're going to grab something to eat tonight, and then I'll make this tomorrow. Either way, I will store it in probably like a big bowl or a saucepan in the fridge until I can can it tomorrow, and then reserve some for when I make the enchiladas. But with him running late and us having to go get Emma, it's just probably not going to happen tonight. So at any rate, the sauce looks great, so whenever we do use it, it'll be yummy. Good morning, everyone. We're getting ready to can up some enchilada sauce. As you can see, my pan is super full, and I got a little bit in a bowl back there. I'm going to go ahead and can what I have. Because we have my nephew's party, and I don't know when I'm going to make the enchiladas. I might as well just can it all. I could use it even before it's done sitting for 24 hours. Not a big deal. So we're going to do that. I have my 3 quarts of water getting hot in my canner. When I say 3 quarts, that is what my canner recommends for the amount of water you need in it. You should be reading your manufacturer's booklet that comes with your canner. It will tell you how much water to have in it before. Some canners are like in inches. Some can are in quarts. So read your manufacturer's instructions and put what your canner requires. So mine requires 3 quarts. I got my jars in the oven getting hot. And I have my stuff laid out. I'm just waiting for the sauce to get hot. What I'm going to have to do is about halfway through, I'm going to have to stop, add that guy into here, and wait for it to get warm. But I will film a few of these jars getting filled. And what I've decided is, because the last couple times it was hard to see the contents and me putting them into the jars, I'm going to put it back here onto this pot holder, and that way you guys can see it, being filled. So hopefully that helps. But that's all I'm doing, is waiting for my enchilada sauce to get warm. Alright, my sauce is finally hot and ready to can. I moved it back here so it was easier to see. So hopefully you guys got a good shot. It's super warm. I'm gonna be careful, just like I was with the tomato sauce. Not making a huge mess, but that's why I got my towel down. That, and because when we moved in, there's like this cutting board. It's like a marble cutting board, but it's like pasted to the counter. I don't quite understand it. I mean, it's kind of handy, but I don't know. I just feel kind of weird about using it as a cutting board. So I do not. I just use it as a like prep station, basically. Oops, this is way too full. Hang on, let me grab a spoon. Alright, so I grab my spoon. Obviously this is larger, or smaller than a 1-inch headspace. See if I can move it over here. Oh, that's hot. This is what I get for not paying attention to what I'm doing because I'm chatting away. Oh man, this smells so good and it tastes so good. Something about it sitting in the fridge overnight. Just kind of getting all those ingredients melded together. Oh man, it's so good. Alright, that looks good. Just gonna keep the spoon here because I'm sure I'll probably need it again. But as you can see, this room is awfully ditty. So we'll take our vinegar. I'm gonna get this one real good because I made quite the mess. Alright. Get a lid. And a ring. And then I get this, oops, gotta take the lid off my hammer. Boy, I am a mess this morning. Fill another jar. This time paying it. Oh, I just hit the microwave. This time paying attention to my headspace. I didn't really remove the bubbles because, you know, this is not really that thick and it's pretty much a liquid. I actually might for this one though. I kind of forgot about it too. It's Saturday morning. What can I say? I'll just do it. Makes me feel better. And I blot it, you know, if you wondered why I, you know, put vinegar on the towel and then blot it on my towel. That's because it, like, you know, soaks up a lot, and I just, you know, I just want a little bit. I don't want vinegar going into this sauce, so that's why I do that. Probably unnecessary, but you're too tight. Put this in the canner. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these jars, and I'll bring you back when I'm getting ready to start the canner. Alright, we got 7 pint jars of enchilada sauce. Oh man, look at that. It looks great. I'm so excited. Now, enchilada sauce in pints is going to process for 50 minutes. 50. If these were quarts, it would be 60 minutes. I thought about doing a couple quarts, but I thought that was maybe too much. So, we're going to do the pints, and hopefully it's enough. I did have about this much left, and I did not want to pitch it. So this I will put in the fridge, and this will be used with the first batch of enchiladas I make. So yeah, so I'm going to get this cranked up, get the lid on, and get it venting the steam. I'll let it vent for 10 minutes, then I'll put my weight on, wait for it to come up to 11 pounds of pressure, and then I'll start my time. So my timer went off for the venting the steam for the 10 minutes. I put my weight on the pick cock right there, and as you can see, the pressure is starting to go up. My safety valve back there is popped up. So I'm going to start turning it down gradually till I get to that point on my stove that it holds my 11 pounds of pressure. I don't do it real fast because I don't want it to drop pressure, and then, you know, it takes a long time if it drops and has to go back up, and drops and has to go back up. So I just do it about a half a notch, I guess you could say, from like, right now it's halfway between 8 and 7. So the next time I turn it down, I'll turn it down to the 7, then to the 6.5, then to the 6. So that's kind of how I do it, and I do it slowly. So It looks like it's building up pressure good. So when I come to 11 pounds of pressure, I will start my timer for 50 minutes and we'll have some great enchilada sauce. While I'm just hanging around the kitchen, I thought I'd show you all these tomatoes came from my garden. Same with the green beans back there. There's a lot more cherry tomatoes. So what I kind of had them in here to figure out what I wanted to do with them. I think I'm going to dehydrate these. I will have to wait until I'm done canning. Otherwise, it'll take longer because the dehydrator would be affected by the moisture in the air from the canning. So once I'm done canning, I might stick them in there. They do take quite a while, but I do have some corn I can dehydrate, and I could do those green beans at the same time. So I might just go ahead and do that with them because I don't know if we're going to be able to eat them all. Even my sister wants some. I don't know. But yeah, I thought I'd show you I'm so excited. I'm not a gardener. Pretty much everything else didn't do that great. So I'm proud of my cherry tomatoes. What can I say? So we're at 11 pounds of pressure, and it's kind of held there for the last minute or so. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer for 50 minutes, and I'll bring you back either when I crack the lid. I'm not sure. I kind of just go with what I feel like doing. So I'll bring you back either to see them or to see something else. So, yay! So my timer went off. I had the lid cracked for 5 minutes. Then I took it off and I let them sit for an additional 10 minutes. It's actually been probably like 13 because everybody decided they want to come into the kitchen and do this and that. So I had to kick everyone out to make sure I had enough room. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out. I've been hearing them popping, so they're sealing pretty good. Oh, look at that. Look how great that looks. It's very much similar to the tomato sauce, but totally different flavor. Oh, look at that. I can't wait to use it. And these will sit here for 24 hours, like anything else. But after a couple hours, I'll check just to make sure they all sealed. In case anything didn't seal, then I can put it in the refrigerator. But otherwise, they will sit there. You can hear them popping. They will sit there and get cooled down. I will put a hand towel over them. But I just wanted you to take a look and see how great they look. So, happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.